Well, hello, my friends. I'm so excited to be here with Marjorie Maas. She is the executive director of SHARE Omaha. Marjorie, it's so good to see you.
Thank you, Andy, for having us back on the show. It means a lot to us.
Yeah, I always love our conversations and our chat, the chats that we have. And there's something exciting that, again, is coming up. The Tuesday after Thanksgiving, regardless of whether it's in November or December, it's always that first Tuesday after Thanksgiving, which is called Giving Tuesday.
Yes, and it is a global holiday.
Yeah.
It really is. It's a global celebration. So it started in New York about 10 years ago, and it has spread across the country and now around the world. So regardless if you celebrate Thanksgiving or not,
Yeah.
November 30th is the day.
Yeah.
And here in the metro, we declare November 30th as Giving Tuesday 402 in the Omaha metro and Giving Tuesday 712 in the Southwest Iowa region. So we try really hard to make this an entire metro area approach to a celebration of giving.
Yeah. Yeah. And how many years? Okay, I want to just backtrack a little bit. Let's just talk about SHARE Omaha in itself. And this came about, I mean, are we in our third, fourth, fifth year? Where are we at?
It does fly by, but this is our third Giving Tuesday and the end of our third year.
Okay.
So we are so grateful to the giving community, to foundations and corporations and sponsors that have made the underwriting of SHARE Omaha possible, that we get to offer that resource to nonprofits at no charge. And we don't take any charges off the donations that come in either. It's simply a PayPal transaction fee. We try really hard to make this a resource that anybody can use.
Yeah. And they can go to the website. It's shareomaha.org.
Yes, shareomaha.org. And it's not just cash. So we have donations absolutely through PayPal, but we're actually pretty well known for volunteer signups and also shopping Amazon wish lists and event attendance. So our calendar is pretty robust.
Yeah.
And we believe that, you know, there's that adage of time, talent, and treasure. And it's an absolute truth that everybody has something to give. Everybody has an itch in the community they're trying to scratch to satisfy a personal or a family need. And if there's a way for them to get connected, we try to make it as easy as possible, Andy.
Yeah. I mean, and you do. I've been on the site. I've participated and done different things on the site. And it's so amazing. So with Giving Tuesday coming up, so let's talk about, I think there's a couple different layers or levels. How do people utilize your site for Giving Tuesday?
Yes. So the one thing that SHARE Omaha does maybe better than anything else is aggregating community-based nonprofits. So nonprofits that are vying for a wider net of support beyond membership or maybe attendance, right? So we don't have churches, schools, and membership clubs on our website. We invite you to support them absolutely on Giving Tuesday. They should get a benefit from your generosity as well. But if there's a community-based nonprofit like In Common or Completely Kids, I mean, just the list is literally 627 nonprofits on SHARE Omaha. And so think about the nonprofits that address those issues you care about, maybe discover a couple new ones. Go to shareomaha.org and just click the top banner for some instructions about Giving Tuesday, or simply just dive right in. It's easy to sort and slice and dice the selections of what comes up in a randomized fashion for you to discover new nonprofits and find the ones you really care about.
Yeah, because also, like, if you know, I have multiple various things like animals I'm really passionate about, children I'm really passionate about, the elderly I'm really passionate about. So you can go on the site and find these specific categories, and I think that's what you just said is they'll bring them up.
Exactly. And those major categories like kids, adults, families, youth, the environment, military, those are our 7 biggest, like who it helps areas. And so those are the widest categories. Then it goes to what it impacts areas like arts and culture, like like environmental sustainability. You can go a little bit deeper. And then we have a cause list that actually goes from alpha to zeta, right?
Yeah.
Goes A to Z, and you can really, really narrow to the specific set of nonprofits that have said that's a core part of my mission.
Right.
And I really care about diversity, or I really care about women's issues, things of that nature. And you'll find those nonprofits that address the things you really care about.
So who is collaborating with you? Because I mean, it takes a lot of people and businesses. I mean, who collaborates with you on this?
Well, we are so grateful for multi-year sponsorships that we've received with Core Bank and TS Bank. So Core Bank is sponsoring Giving Tuesday 402, and TS Bank, Trainer State Bank, is what you may know them as well. They sponsor Giving Tuesday 712, and they get behind it with effort and enthusiasm and passion for philanthropy. We couldn't have greater sponsors. And then Pottawatomie County Community Foundation. I realize you're going to speak to my friend Donna Dostal in a little bit here. Yeah. And Donna can talk about Pottawatomie County Community Foundation's efforts in Southwest Iowa and their 20% match they're doing for endowment funds in their site, in their umbrella of organizations. And then we actually, this year, our first year of having hourly prizes, we have a $16,000 prize pool. So $16,000 $1,000 prizes, right, sponsored by Cox, Kiewit, PayPal, and Physicians Mutual. So this is a community event. Yeah. And we love that not only families and individuals and churches and schools get behind this, but businesses as well. And corporate citizens like the ones I just mentioned. It does take a very big team to make all of this happen.
Yeah. And I think the corporate community, because that's one of the things over the years that the corporate community is so instrumental in helping nonprofits. I always kind of go back because, I've been doing Metro magazine for 30 years. And I mean, 30 years ago or 35 years ago, you had that philanthropic base, but it was pretty limited. And what I've seen over the last 5 to 10 years is that corporate community stepping up even more, regardless of whether you have 10 employees or you have 10,000 employees or 1,000 employees.
Well, in the for-profit sector, like you said, Andy, it's not just the big players, like the large employers. It's mom and pops. It is mid-size employers, small employers that know that their employees care about giving back, that they know that they need to be good community citizens to attract, hold on to talent, and also put their money where their values are so their customers can see where they're investing beyond their bottom line. And it all adds up to better engagement and more true investment from customers, but also the employees that serve that organization. And we're so grateful that SHARE Omaha gets to play a part in that citizenship. Right. Mm-hmm. So we have companies that come to us looking for volunteer opportunities. We have companies that come to us and say, we got the volunteer thing down for general volunteerism, but we have executives that want to serve on boards, and we want to do it right. We want to do it in a way that promotes equity. We want to do it in a way that touches their own passions. So they're showing up for us in a way that matters. And so SHARE Omaha gets to help out with that too, on a one-on-one basis, not so much through the website, but we definitely try to benefit our members as much as possible in that process. So they yield good corporate investment. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So here it says there's over 400 local nonprofits participating, but you just said there's over 600. I mean,
yes. Okay. So we have about 400 organizations, a little over, that have said, I am taking part in Giving Tuesday. It's a part of my strategy. It's a part of what I'm doing. But of course, we're never going to tell somebody they can't give to somebody on Giving Tuesday.
Right.
So the entire membership on Share Omaha is 647 today. And so we're hoping that those other 247 sign up before the deadline, but if not, still support the organizations you care about. But of those 400 organizations, there's a couple I would just like to make sure I shout out to a bit, give you some ideas. So, for instance, the Lifehouse accepting diaper donations at core bank locations. And they are kind of a diaper depository and benefit so many organizations, families, entities across the city with that stock of diapers that they bring in a lot of it in this Giving Tuesday fourth quarter time period. Intercultural Senior Center donations help clear snow from seniors' driveways so they can make it to medical appointments. So they're helping pay for the staff time and also the resources needed to make sure that work happens for seniors so they can get connected back to the senior center and also get to where they need to go. Learning for All donations will help transition their programs indoors, as all their programming has been on Zoom since March of 2020. So they're really trying to pivot back, and let's reward them for it. Let's try to make sure that they're as successful in doing that as possible in the safest way possible. I mentioned In Common a little earlier. In Common, their donations are helping build affordable housing. So their mission is really to listen to neighbors and do an amazing job where neighborhoods need to improve themselves. And so we just applaud them in that work. And then Open Door Mission, for shelters, this time of year is super important, not only from a donation perspective, but from a service provided perspective. $37.31 funds a night of shelter, nutritious food, and quality care for a guest. So I think they're actually posting on their Share Omaha profile that $37.31 to see if people give at that one guest per rate. So consider that as well.
And the thing I want to mention too is that, with COVID-19 and the pandemic and all the issues and the challenges that it created for the community in itself, all the nonprofits, they've had to kind of relook at stuff. And I had Candace from Open Door Mission on a few weeks ago, but they're experiencing the same challenges, but also new challenges because of what's happening. And really looking, I just think supporting these nonprofits now is even more important than ever. It's always important, but.
And I 100% agree with you, Andy, but I want you to think about maybe just a little bit differently. So, and the nonprofits that have seen it this way, I've seen them really succeed in this timeline.
Oh my gosh, absolutely.
So we took an inventory of what nonprofits were missing, losing, what they didn't have, what they had to close down. And we took stock of all of that. And it's important to know how the pandemic has affected us. But once we realized our job was to give people hope, significance, and ways they could help. So we asked nonprofits to say, what can people still do for you?
Yeah.
And shifting from what we don't have, a scarcity mindset, to an abundance mindset of what can I still do? How can I be useful? How can I still help? And how, the nonprofits that took advantage of that energy, man, we saw great results and we saw great impact. And they're nonprofits that really struggled, and thank God for Paycheck Protection Program, and thank heaven for the resources that our government put out to keep nonprofits from closing down, especially stages, but, and shuttering. But I will say that I've seen a lot of hope in the nonprofit sector and a ton of ingenuity, a ton of innovation in the ways that people are delivering programs. So like those challenges that Candace is talking about are more about keeping people safe and trying to figure out how to be in compliance. And those are such new challenges. But I will say that the generosity we've seen towards basic needs has been incredible.
Agreed.
Food Bank for the Heartland, shelters, food pantries. People want to make sure, the public wants to make sure those places are whole.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. Again, one thing that when we look over the last 18 months, we've had these challenges, but like you said, there's new innovation. There's new way to do things. We weren't in person for events, but we're coming back to events, but the whole virtual piece actually allowed nonprofits to reach, to me, even more people.
Audiences.
I mean, it's just, it's amazing. So keeping that positive output, like you said, is so important.
Yes. And we know that our community, specifically Omaha, loves to see how generous it is.
Yes.
I don't think that's the same everywhere else.
I don't think so either.
I think it's unique. I think the metro area loves to show up for itself. And so, you know what, Andy, we want to be bold and say that this is going to be the biggest Giving Tuesday we've seen in the metro area. So can I be so bold and tell you some goals before we close?
Go for it. We've got about like 30 seconds.
Okay. So first year, I believe it was 1.6 million was raised. Our first Giving Tuesday that SHARE Omaha did 2019. Last year we raised roughly 2 million. So almost double that amount.
Yep.
And I'm not going to double it this year. I'm not saying that, but I would love to watch our community raise 4.5 million. Like I feel like in the spirit of abundance, let's put that number out there.
Yeah. Okay. 4.5 million.
Yes.
Or more.
But you know what? Regardless if we reach it or not, the generosity in our community is going to be huge that day. And we know that Omaha is going to show up and support what matters to them. And so let's show up and do what we can. And if we reach 4.5 million, let's have a heck of a party.
Okay. So last question really quickly. Can people start giving now? Do they have to wait?
Yes. Okay. Go to shareomaha.org. Fill out your sponsorships, your donations. You can give up to 10 organizations at a time, and just put Giving Tuesday in that donation code box. And so we'll know that you're giving in the spirit of Giving Tuesday early.
Awesome.
That's all you got to do.
Easy. So easy. So encouraging everybody. Giving Tuesday is November 30th, Tuesday, November 30th. But you can start giving now, and as always, give all year round. But this is a celebration, and it just gets the community involved. So
it rallies, right? It shows what we can do when we all come together.
Yeah. So, well, Marjorie, thank you so much. It's so good to see you. And Giving Tuesday, November 30th. And folks, we'll be back.